guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Honey's Hunt. In the last episode, Honey parted ways with her old friend Hatch, the wolf who she explored the entirety of the Lost River with. So it was sad for her to see him go, but he did find himself a brand new home, so assuming that the bears don't get too involved, I'm sure he's going to live a nice, happy, full life. Now, Honey has returned to the Amethyst Mountain. That's where she is right now. The very same place where her father Bumble started his journey. So she has this whole world ahead of her, but she's not going to settle down just yet. She's actually hoping that she can find some more relics out here, maybe little remnants of the humans that she studied back at the Lost River. So since we're using the same wolf that we explored the Lost River with, I think that means that we're going to keep all of our experience points too. If we go to the pack stats, it seems like she still has all of her experience points, so I'm hoping that means that we don't have to hunt down quite so many elk to find ourselves a mate. But of course, we're not going to do that straight away. In fact, Honey has quite a few different places to explore. If I remember correctly, when we started our game with Bumble, we basically went right down to the elk hunting ground. So we were deep in the Douglas Fir Forest, and I think we may have visited the burn too. That means all of this land to the north we haven't even touched yet, so it's going to be Honey's to explore. And I think we're going to go toward this fossil forest first, because this thing looks pretty interesting. It's right in the middle of two wolf packs too, so I suppose we could always mosey up to the one in the corner, maybe see if anybody around there has some information to share. So we want to go basically directly north, past all of these tiny little lakes. Let's get a good run going, Honey. Thankfully she's nice and full, so she probably won't have to hunt right away. But if we go to the top of the hill here, can we actually see the forest? Oh my gosh, what a difference in landscape. Oh, Bumble never had to do anything like this. He never had to cross this kind of mountain at least. His journey was relatively easy. Oh, hello. Oh my gosh, for a second I thought that was actually a wolf. But you are far, far smaller than a wolf. So let's go ahead and chase off this little guy too. We don't need you trying to steal any of our prey after all, especially if we do manage to find like a bunny or an elk or something. Thanks to her journeys through the Lost River, she's something of a master of chasing off coyotes. In a way, that was kind of how she became friends with so many of the wolf packs, because she helped them keep their territory safe, even though she wasn't technically staying there herself. Now let's make sure that we're going toward the right place. Oh, we actually walked straight past the fossil forest? It must be on top of the hill then? Oh my goodness, and what a steep climb. It's probably a good thing that Hatch didn't join you then. He wasn't exactly the best at climbing, though at least there aren't quite as many rocks for us to deal with. So is the fossil forest right in front of us? Oh, there it is. This has to be it. I guess it's called the fossil forest because all of the trees have been cut down. They all look to be very, very dead, really old trees. So this forest has pretty much run its course. It's not much like the vibrant and thriving forest that Honey remembers from her past, or even from her childhood too. All of those places that Bumble took her when they were heading toward the summer hunting grounds. Gosh though, can you ever get a good view at this area? Oh my goodness, look at this place. I wonder where all the wolf packs are. There should be one over there, and there should be one over on the other side too. So I guess in the middle of all of those big trees. And do I see something on that tree down there? That tree stump, it almost looks like it could be a skull. And if that's the case, I think it might actually be one of our achievements, so you better go investigate, Honey. Yes, that definitely looks like a skull to me. Ooh, is it glowing? Can you touch it, Honey? Alas, poor Yorick, find the wolf skull in Amethyst Mountain. So that might be a little bit menacing to you, huh? But not menacing to the bunnies? Gosh, did the bunnies actually put up that skull for us? Where'd you go, little guy? There he is, getting caught up on the rocks just like Honey is. I can't imagine this would be a good place for a bunny to live. There's not too much food here in the fossil forest. But there you go, Honey. At least that's a good little snack for us. It almost makes you wonder if that was the rabbit's way of keeping other wolves out of this place. Maybe it just wanted to set up a little warning sign, make this place seem far more menacing than it actually is. But Honey is not afraid. If she's managed to survive the Lost River and all the strange things around there, she knows that this place is going to be a walk in the park. So let's try to figure out which way that wolf pack we wanted to go to is. Looks like it's right over here, which means it's probably through those trees like we figured. So I guess let's knock on their door. Let's see if they have anybody friendly lurking inside, or if Honey can even meet any dispersal wolves right now, because I am curious if that experience is going to work. Oh, is that a mountain lion? I wonder if the wolf pack knows that they have a mountain lion surveying their territory right now. Oh, it looks like she's pacing back and forth. Well, Honey knows better than to get involved in this battle. She's not a very strong wolf, but she is pretty quick. So her best bet would be to just steer clear. Yeah, we better make sure that we go deliver the message. Kind of just like Hatch. Maybe this is even her way of paying him respect, since he decided to stay behind to help the other wolf pack with the bears. Maybe we should actually do a little bit of sniffing around too. Like, now that I think about it, if we do have cougars wandering around here, we probably want to make sure that everything else is clear too. It actually looks like there's quite a few carcasses off in the distance. I wonder if that's a good sign? Maybe that's even something that the wolf pack here has caught, because it looks like we're right around their territory. The wind is blowing toward us too, so I guess that means the wolves inside here probably wouldn't notice us quite as easily. If we're looking to infiltrate, then this is the best way to sneak into their land. Not that Honey is really known for her spying. I think more than likely she's just hoping that somebody around here is as curious as she is, just like Hatch ended up being when she found him. So this is the stranger wolf's territory, deep in the forest, and the music has even changed. Oh, it's a nice relaxing song up here. Maybe these wolves are friendly? They have a pretty interesting territory, to be honest. This place looks amazing. I'm sure they could find lots of little bunnies hopping around. Though they aren't very close to any hunting grounds, so maybe that's why they're not here right now. They might actually be far off on the other side of the world, just trying to find some food to bring back to the pack. That might explain why it seems so quiet. Either that, or they're just sneaking around the trees. I suppose they could also be a bit of a shy pack. They are very close to the edge of the map, so maybe they just like to keep to themselves. Well, it's definitely something that Honey is going to keep tucked into the back of her mind. Maybe she'll come back here and visit again after she's hunted a few elk of her own. That would probably be a good way to get on their good side, bring back food for the pack so they don't have to travel quite as far. There's no better way to gain trust. And trust, as she has discovered, means the sharing of knowledge. So I guess Honey is a little bit devious in her own right, but certainly not in a nefarious way. She just wants to further understand the mysteries of the universe. It seems like she might be going toward the elk hunting ground right now, so I wonder if this is the very same one that Bumble used to use. Yeah, right in the middle of the Douglas fir forest. I have a feeling this is actually where her father caught his very first meals. So maybe it would be a good idea for us to stumble on in here and try to catch a good elk. I think Honey could probably use something a bit more substantial. That bunny was great, but an elk would be even better. Now, she got pretty used to hunting with Hatch, but now we're all on our own again, and with so many trees around, this could end up being a struggle. When Honey hunted all by herself in the Lost River, she actually ended up chasing the elk toward the cliffs. It was a great way to trap them, but something tells me the elk know these forests a bit too well for that. So we're going to have to pick an elk that is seriously weak. Hopefully one will skitter away if we go past them. We'll have to steer clear of the bull elk, of course. He was standing guard in the back, but not quite well enough to protect these three elders. You're doing pretty well so far, Honey. Let's try to guide the elk out of the forest if we can. If you have a bit of a clearer pathway, that way you're not running into trees, I'm sure you would appreciate it. Oh, she's getting pretty tired too. Okay, let's rest really quickly. Maybe not in the trees though. That's only going to make it hard for you to actually see the elk. Well, here's the edge of the forest, so we've just about sent her straight out of her home. Oh, she's ready for the final stand already. She is not leaving without a fight. It almost makes you feel a little bit bad sometimes, but Honey needs this to survive. One good elk should be enough to fill her belly, and it'll be enough to take back to the other wolf packs too. So land as many attacks as you can, though without another wolf to distract her. Oh, she is really getting hurt. If we could just get behind her and maybe bite her from the back. But I think she moves too fast for that. We might just have to go in for the attack then. I don't think you have a choice, honey. Just land in as many attacks as you can and hopefully you'll be okay. Yeah, honey desperately needs somebody helping her to take down prey. She's a creature built more for those long journeys and not so much standing up against the hooves of an elk. When she does finally find somebody to settle down with, strength will probably be a big contributing factor. She knows that she needs somebody who can really back her up, especially with all the trouble she ends up getting herself into. Her curiosity means a lot of sticky situations, so her mate is going to have his work cut out for him. I wonder if Bumble ever told her about this place? If he ever told her or all of her siblings the story about his very first time wandering through the Douglas fir forest, chasing after elk here. He must have given them a few pointers. And it looks like this might be one of the carcasses that we saw, right by the strange stick tree in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, these are definitely the two carcasses, so we didn't even have to hunt down our own elk. These carcasses are literally just a skip away from what we hunted down a moment ago. Well, I guess that means the wolf pack must be near. Oh, and we even came full circle. Oh my gosh, this is the very same lake that we just started in. We're going straight back toward the wolf packs and the fossil forest. Gosh, it seems like such a huge world until you end up doing a circle like that. Well, that gives us a good opportunity to go toward the other wolf pack that we saw, right next to the high ridge and the grassy plains. I'm curious to see what they might be hiding there. And judging by the terrain, it seems they might be the previous pack's opposite. Maybe even their opposing forests? Oh, I think that might be the cougar's kill? Oh, do you think the cougar has actually been littering this place with carcasses? Maybe it's not even the wolf pack doing the hunting. Well, it seems pretty clear to me that the area between the wolf packs seems to be the mountain lion's territory. It's no wonder all of the other wolves have gone into hiding. But if this pack is truly their opposite in every way, then I wonder if they're going to be a little bit more aggressive than the previous one. Maybe they'll be more front and center? Oh my gosh! Oh, did we just startle a bear straight into their home? I can't believe the bear actually ran away from us. Wait a second. Are you maybe a younger grizzly bear? Not used to tussling with wolves? Maybe this wolf pack is truly that aggressive and they've scared away the bears before too. Well, we're just about in their territory now, and just as we saw on the map, it seems like their whole land is a wide open space. So they're not tucked away in that quiet forest like the previous pack, which makes it all the more likely that they aren't quite as shy. If you're gonna live right out in the open like this, then you have nowhere to hide. You've gotta learn to stand your ground. I'm starting to think that we do have to hunt down 8 elk though. Maybe we won't see any wolves until we do, but it's still good to get a good lay of the land like this when no one else is around. I like how they have all of these little trees bordering their territory. Okay, so much for that theory. It's not a dispersal wolf, but it seems to be one of their pack mates nonetheless. A slough female with that dark fur. Oh, as the rains come too. Does this not remind you of something? It's almost like the day that Daisy was stolen away. She was stolen by a dark wolf just like her, and I swear it was raining just like this too. The weather was very, very finicky that day. Oh, this must be giving you so many bad memories. Let's have Honey escape from this place. It's definitely starting to give off some bad vibes. Do you think this might be the pack that took her? The slough? Oh, we are going to have to investigate that in the future. Honey, you may have actually found the first clue as to the whereabouts of your sister. Bumble never gave up hoping. Even though it seemed like she had been killed by the enemy wolves, he always wondered if she had been taken for a different reason. Maybe all of their pups had died off and they so desperately wanted to raise a child that they would resort to stealing from one of their neighboring packs. And with our theory of that certain pack being quite aggressive, I think there's a good chance that there's more to the slough than we thought. So honey, you are definitely going to have to go back there in the future after you have enough experience under your belt and after you've hunted down a few more elk to fill your belly too. I think the more elk we chase out of the forest, the better it'll be for us. Then we'll have plenty of snacks to go to as we travel between both packs. Of course, we can't forget that we do have a third pack to go visit too, and after we go ahead and munch on a little bit more of this elk, let's try to figure out exactly where it is. Oh, way down on the other side of the map, kind of directly south from the shy pack that we visited first. I wonder what their story is going to be. Maybe we'll have to go pay them a visit in the next episode. We have to make our way over to the burn anyways, which is a place that I know Bumble explored very briefly. Oh, and hello, Mr. Coyote. No, thank you. You're not going to be munching on any of our meals today. One more coyote to chase off, honey. It seems like your job is never ending, but it's good practice. Since you aren't very good at taking down the elk by yourself, maybe finishing off a few more coyotes will help train you in strength. Jeez, this one is awfully wiry though. Come on, honey, you can catch up. You have plenty of time. It must be the slick terrain. This rain is probably not making her job any easier. But one more bite ought to do the trick. Yes, excellent. And you've even brought the sun back to us too. Well, that's gotta be a good omen if I ever did see one. Maybe all of our wolfy ancestors approve of us going toward the burn and toward that wolf pack in the distance too. So in the next episode, we'll explore this forest before us, and we'll see if the third pack in the Amethyst Mountain is a little bit friendlier as well. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!